Giggle, giggle. Cake, we'll be right back. No, because I'll just edit it out. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Rachel Amma. Now I'm back with another video. I was not sure about making a video this week. I got very confused with everything that's going on in the world. But I asked you guys on my Instagram and my YouTube and you guys were like, just post. So I'm back with a recipe. But today I thought I would make something with what I have in the house, and I really like cake. Cake makes me happy and I think cake will make you happy too. So it's a cake with what we have in the house, in the pantry, and I have apples about to just go. So we're gonna make apple cake. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for apple cake. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new videos, and let's just make some cake. And I have a cameraman today, so big up yourself. Big up yourself, bro. Sistren, there we go. So we need flour, we need sugar. I actually got some sugar. We're gonna use brown sugar. It's gonna make it nice and kind of caramel and delicious, and it's apple cake. Then flour, we just got some plain flour. And it's in this because we had a weasel problem, which is quite gross. I only learned about weasels when I had a weasel problem because I was making loads of vegan cakes for testing the recipes in my book. Had loads of flour, had weasels. Now we box it all up. And also with the cake, we are gonna use some plant-based milk. Now this is my favorite plant-based milk. It's Oatly Barrister. So we're not gonna use it all, we're gonna water it down so that I can preserve the delicious, infamous, amazing Oatly Barrister. Please sponsor me, please. Cameraman's laughing. So I've got 2 apples. You could use other fruits. I like using fruits. I like using fruits in my, vegan cakes because they add a lot of moisture and it's a natural replacement of eggs, so go fruit crazy. We're gonna use apples. So we've got plant-based milk, we've got our apples that are gonna keep it nice and moist and add some nice apple flavor, and these are about to go bad, so it's a fun way to get them in. Oh, you could also add carrot if you have carrot. I've got sugar, flour, then we need like an oil or butter. I'm gonna use vegetable oil. I got rapeseed oil. What else is needed in a cake? What else? We need bicarbonate soda. So we've got some bicarbonate soda. Then also we are gonna add some vinegar, or you could use lemon. I'm preserving my lemons because quarantine season. Yeah, let's go. We got our cake ingredients. So with my apples, I'm gonna peel these apples first. Then once I've peeled them, I'm just gonna very, very finely chop them. So I'm gonna use about 2.5 cups of flour. I shouldn't say about, when you're baking, you need to be exact. So to be exact, really I should do grams. I'm gonna list the whole recipe so you guys can properly make it. In here, we're gonna put all our dry ingredients. So I'm also gonna add in some baking soda. So the baking soda is gonna interact a little bit with the vinegar when we add it, and it will create some air bubbles to keep the cake nice and light, as well as helping it rise in the oven. I've also got some ground cinnamon, I nearly forgot. Some people hate cinnamon. If you hate it, don't add it. If you love it, add it. You could also add nutmeg, allspice, and make it like a really spiced cake. But if you're not for the spice, you can just skip that bit out. And then I've also got just a little bit of a pinch of sea salt. Sweet and salty. Just a little bit. And then that is your dry ingredients. And you just want to mix it all so that you combine the flour with the cinnamon, the pinch of salt, and the baking soda so it's evenly distributed. And you can make a mess if you want to make a mess. Top look dirty. That means my top looks dirty. So now we're going to make our wet ingredients, and the cameraman is laughing because the cameraman's had enough already, but we're not even halfway through. We're gonna put our wet ingredients in here. So I'm gonna add the sugar, plant-based milk, oil, vinegar, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna use about 1.5 cups of brown sugar. So then with the oil, I'm gonna use about 90 milliliters of plant-based oil. This is kind of like Rachel's test kitchen here. So we're hoping to make a very delicious cake. Then with the plant-based milk, I'm gonna add roughly 1 cup of plant-based milk. But like I said, I'm gonna water this down a little bit because this is liquid gold. Then we're also gonna add in some vinegar. So I'm gonna use about a tablespoon. But like I said, I'm gonna list the ingredients. With cakes, you can't be too dish, dash, dash. You kind of got to be a little bit precise. And now you just want to mix together your wet, all together. So now I'm just going to add my apples in with my sugar, with the wet ingredients. On Egypt. It's here. Wow. 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 Cameraman's feeling free. Having fun.
It's cool being creative. It's quarantine season. Okay, I'm getting creative.
Okay. So we got our wet and our dry ingredients. You want to make sure that you preheated your oven first, which I haven't done, which I'm about to do. And you also want to make sure that you prepare a baking tin before you mix your wet and the dry, because you don't want to leave that sitting around too long. You want to mix it, throw it straight in the oven. So my baking dish, I'm gonna get that. So I've got a little bit of oil and I'm just gonna use this on my baking. Oh, that was a little bit more than I wanted, but hey ho. And I just wanna make sure that I get everything covered. If you have baking, what do you call those sheets, you can use those. I find them quite wasteful. And I know when I make cakes in this tin, I don't have any problem getting them out. So you just want to give it a really gentle mix to combine. You don't want to overwork it. And you just want to make sure that everything is mixed in together. And then we can just put it in the baking tin and go. There was something I wanted to say, but I just can't remember what it was. Cool, so you can get some brown sugar and crumb it on the top for a glaze, but I'm gonna add something else on the top, something special. So we're gonna put this in the oven and cook it until the knife comes out clear, which is about an hour, but we're just gonna keep an eye on it, see what happens. So the cake's been in for about an hour, so we're gonna do the knife test, so you just need a knife. And at this point, your kitchen probably smells amazing, because cake smells amazing, especially apples, cinnamon. It probably smells nice and Christmassy. So a clean knife, and you just want to go in the center of the cake. Oh, I don't think it's ready. Shocking. So all that means is we haven't cooked it long enough. So we're going to pop it back in the oven. And I like to check it in like 10-minute increments when the knife comes out like this, because we don't want a dry cake. We still want it to be moist, but it needs to be cooked. So while the cake is still cooking, we're gonna make like a little bit of a topping. So I was gonna make like a cashew frosting, but I wanna reserve my cashew nuts at the minute. So I'm gonna use some icing sugar and mix it with some fresh orange. You could use lemon. Lemon would be really, really, really nice. And then on top, I've just got a couple nuts, a couple pecans, any nuts, pistachio nuts, almond nuts. This is a kind of recipe where you use the fruit that you have, use the nuts that you have, and make something really delicious with what you have in the house during these very crazy times. So I'm just gonna cut my orange and add a little bit of the orange. This is a blood orange. Delicious. Then you just want to mix in some icing sugar and try not to make too much of a mess. So you want it to be quite thick for when you add it to the cake. Then with the nuts, we're just gonna break them up. You can break them up in your hands, or if you have a pestle and mortar, then you can break it out. And you don't want it to go too crumbly, you want some texture, a little bit of crunch. And then we're just gonna sprinkle those on top. And on top of that, I'm gonna zest up this orange and then we'll get like nice little orange flakes on top of the cake. Then obviously, because I had a blood orange, it is a little bit pink. So it is almost like child baking, like children's baking cakes, but just use what you got. Use lemon if you want, or use a regular orange. Today we've got blood orange, which means we've got pink icing sugar. Right guys, we've got the cake back out the oven. So we've got a clean knife, straight in. We're happy. So what you want to do now that the cake is cooked, we did the knife test, it's all fine. We're gonna let it cool, then we're gonna pop it out the tin, and then we're gonna add our toppings on top. And then we've got a really delicious, easy cake for, I don't want to call it a quarantine cake, but this is where the inspiration came from. Making food that you love with limited ingredients. Cake, we'll be right back. The cake has cooled down. I flipped it over. Now we can just add a little bit of icing. I feel really funny about this. Okay, now it's dried up over time. I might need to liquefy this a little bit. Just to make it look extra saucy. That's the bit that makes me happy. Can you see that? This is the bit that makes me happy, when you can see the icing sugar just drip down. I agree, it's a bit weird that it's pink, but we've made it. We've made a really simple, delicious, vegan-friendly apple cake with what's in the house. I hope you guys enjoy the recipe. I'm gonna link it down below so you guys can make it if you do wanna make it. If you do make it, let me know on Instagram, because I love seeing what you guys are making. And I hope, oh, we're now looking at cake. I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you guys for letting me know that you want me to continue to just make some videos. I'll probably make some pantry item recipes next week. I was a little bit low on food myself, because in London everyone went and bought everything and it made it hard for people who didn't go and buy everything to go and just get some normal everyday food. But hopefully, as we continue, I can get more food, which means I can share more recipes, and I will make them really simple, easy for times like this that make it easier for you guys and still delicious. I got you back. Thanks for watching. If you want to see me eat the cake, then you should have come on my Instagram. But make it, I hope you like it. Shouts to the cameraman. I hope when I watch this back, I'm not gonna be like, oh, the angles. We're gonna see. What? Egypt. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I'll be back with new videos. And I hope everyone is doing the best that they can in these circumstances. Big love to everyone.